Hey everyone, it's Leanne from Maine Family Travel. So I'm going to start at the beginning, which is we are a family of 4. My husband and I, and we are educators. We've been married for 16 years. He's a teacher. He's been in teaching for 28 years. I was a teacher. I taught for about 15 years, and then I became an administrator. So my official title is Director of Curriculum Instruction and Assessment. And we both have our master's degree. We were married later in life. I have 2 full-grown children who both are married, live nearby about 40 minutes away, and they both have 2 children, so I have 4 grandchildren. So I met my husband about 17 years ago, and we were married a year later. He did not have any children. My guys were just about out of high school and both then going into college. And after we were married, my husband said, you know, I really want children. And I thought, okay. Long story short, we ended up going through the foster care system here in the state of Maine, becoming foster parents. What we said we wanted were newborns. We would take in babies and we would try to adopt. And while we were in the system going through our classes and our training and getting certified, we were told by every person we met, don't even think you are ever going to get a newborn baby because it doesn't happen. And certainly not get foster a newborn baby that you will be able to adopt because that's just not what happens in the system. So it ended up that we were called to pick up Zoe at the hospital as a brand new baby. She was 14 days old when I met her, 17 days when I brought her home. This is the only home she's ever known. When she was 13 months old, we received a phone call that said, we have another baby. Would you consider fostering another child? And we said yes, and we went and picked that baby up from the hospital. That baby was 3 days old, brought that little boy home. We adopted him when he was about 14 months old. And so we actually were able to foster 2 babies and adopt both. And the only home either one of them has ever known has been our home. One of the funnier challenges is that when I'm with the kids, I always get asked if I am their grandmother. Part of that is because of the hair, and some of it's because there might be a wrinkle or 2 there. And you know what? That's okay, because we're a family, and we're kind of a neat family. We also have a doodle. She was, we purchased her as a Labradoodle, and after we brought her home, I started thinking about the fact that her mom was the standard poodle and her father was a Cocker Spaniel. So how did we have a Labradoodle? But she's part of our family and we love her. So it is the 4 of us and our doodle, and basically we have lived a very traditional lifestyle. We have 2 jobs. I'm an administrator. My husband teaches. The kids are in middle school. They are now 12 and 11. Riley, our son, is in the 6th grade. He's 11 years old, and Zoe is 12, and she's in 7th grade. They're in the same building, the middle school. And my husband is a high school social studies teacher. And we've known for a while that the school system doesn't really fit our daughter's learning style. So we have 2 kids in the school system. One kid who hates to miss a day. School comes very easily for him. As he said to me yesterday, you know, Mom, I don't even study for tests. Sometimes I don't pass them. And I, of course, said, so would it be helpful if you study for tests? And he's like, yeah, maybe. And then we have a child, Zoe, who hates school and hates how she feels about herself, does not like how she learns and how teachers make her feel about how she learns. It's been a very difficult process for Zoe to be in school. And it started right at the very beginning. In kindergarten, they started saying, yeah, I think she has some ADHD. And I kept saying, nope, that's not what it is. We'd done a lot of testing, and we knew she had sensory processing issues. And we'd also had her tested because the kindergarten special ed teacher said, I think there's some things going on with executive functioning. So we had her tested, and it was for that. And so we were told, teachers are always, special ed teachers, general ed teachers, they're always going to say she has ADHD, and she does not. So it has been really an uphill battle. And I say that as an educator, and I say that as a parent. Just trying to have teachers see Zoe as an incredible, amazing, charming, bright, funny, kind human being, and work with her as such rather than as somebody who learns very differently and needs additional time and additional support to be successful. With proficiency-based education, I'm a little shocked, surprised, and extremely saddened that we still have to fight for Zoe to have a right to learn in her own way, and she has the right to be supported. So this year has been so difficult that we finally pulled Zoe every other day, and she is being what we call homeschooled. What we hope to do is to continue to blog about how to meet a different learners' needs. So that's one thing. So a 12-year-old who really has some unique learning styles, and how do we make that happen? How to really work with an 11-year-old who's comfortable in the public education setting, not learning a great deal, not interested at all. All he wants to do is figure out what is it a teacher wants, and I'll give it to them, and I'm not doing 1 minute more. Neither kid talks in a positive way about school. If you ask both of them, they will tell you they hate school. And they've been saying that since at least 4th grade. So, and as to educators, it breaks our heart to hear them say that. So that's in part what we're kind of focusing on. And so we have decided we want to take at least 1 year and travel with the 4 of us and the doodle, and homeschool, unschool, world school. There's lots of terminology out there, but be responsible for our kids' learning for at least a year, travel in a motorhome, and sort of go across country and see what this country has to offer, see how we do in a motorhome, figure out what's the best way that our kids learn, get them interested in learning again, in reading, in discovering new things. And we kind of feel with 2 preteens, and Zoe will be 13 in July, this is really one of our last opportunities, because once they hit high school, we feel as though they're not going to be inclined to go into a motorhome with mom and dad and leave their social peers or their social groups for as long. So one thing we have going for us is social media. My husband will be driving this motorhome. We are actually right now investigating what we need for a motorhome, but we do need something that's small enough that we don't pull a car, that we feel comfortable driving into cities with it, and we can pull into a campground park, make it a kind of a home spot, but also pull out and go sightseeing. It has to be big enough for the dog. So we've got lots of things that we as a family really want to focus on. So we're going to start getting the information out in the very beginning when we're feeling full of questions, not knowing particularly how we're going to fund this. So we will definitely be broadcasting more and coming to you. You will see everybody on camera. Here's my Zoe.
Hi.
And that's my 12-year-old. And we will have the kids doing some podcasting and vlogging, and you will get to know us as a family. If you subscribe, join us and listen to our tale. Thanks. Have a good day.